Hello, everyone, and yes, welcome to another edition of Manigan's Movie Music live on Love the Beat Radio with me, of course, Reese Manigan. I hope you guys are good and you've had a really good week, a productive week, a busy week. But unfortunately, we've had a bit of a chain break on Friday because guess what? The rain has actually, that's right, the rain has actually started to arrive. I know, I can't believe it. Actual rain. When we had 5 weeks of sunshine, and unfortunately, the rain has finally come upon us. But it's fine. We needed the rain. We've had some really lovely hot days. And I tell you what, the weather has been absolutely amazing the past couple of weeks, the past couple of months, everything. So you can't complain with a little bit of rain. But did it have to happen on a Friday? But yeah, I suppose it had to on one occasion. But anyway, it's all good. Anyway, guys, for the Manigan's Movie Music today, I have got a very special guest I'll be introducing very soon on the show, which I cannot wait to introduce. And also some more movie news is coming up as well. Unfortunately, today, I don't have a movie review to do today because unfortunately, there was no new movies coming out this week that I can go see. But it's fine. There's loads of stuff I want to talk about anyway, so don't panic. There'll be loads of stuff to talk about, bring up and everything, so do not worry about that. Okay, guys, let's kick off with our very first track of the day. And I thought, since spring's almost kind of ended now and we're into summer, I thought it'd be very appropriate to play this little ditty. This is, of course, the voices of the Spring Waltz. What a great piece of music to start off your Friday morning. That was, of course, Johann Strauss, the voices of Spring Waltz. Why did I choose that? Well, because we've had a really amazing spring. Why not, eh? The voices of spring. Getcha? Anyway, whatever. I think it's funny. You're listening to Manigan's Movie Music live on Love the Beat Radio with me, of course, Reese Manigan. And now it is time to introduce a very special guest of mine. She's live from LA today. Yes, I've got another American guest who's online today. But we've been social media friends for about 6-7 years. She's a singer. She's a sort of actress, a producer. And she's here today to talk about her story, about how she became a singer and taken on that journey. Please welcome the very talented Raina Mora.
Hi, Reese. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yes, well, thank you so much for, as I say to every American guest, for staying up very late at this hour. Because what time is it over there?
It is 2:13 a.m.
Wow, and it is 10:14 a.m. here. So very big time difference. Anyway, but I really appreciate you staying up to be on this show because obviously not a lot of my American contacts would do this. So it's very nice that you have actually honoured to stay up and do this show. So thank you very, very much. So, Raina, tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and tell us about your journey from when you wanted to become a singer from then till now.
I am a singer-songwriter. First and foremost, I always say I'm a songwriter first. Currently, I am working on my EP called Messy, but Here We Are, which should be released next year. I'm in the process of making the album, which has been really awesome and rewarding and fun all at the same time. I'm also working on my next single, which should be released in the fall, which is going to be called Bad Decision. I'm a creative. I just love the arts. I love movies. I love acting in my music videos. And I've done shorts and appeared on Friends whenever they're doing stuff on their shorts or their movies or whatever they need. But yes, I've been in Hollywood since high school. So I've been here for a long time and I love living in LA and being a creative here. It's awesome.
And what was what made you want to become a singer in the first place? When did you decide to just wake up and go, that's the career that I want to go for?
So according to my mother, I sang before I talked, and since I didn't speak. I was very quiet. I was a quiet child, and I sang and instead, and that she knew automatically that I would be a singer. And at least from what she told me, I don't really remember. I was a kid. I was a baby. And then as I got older, I started singing with like a pretty voice, and my mother would ask me to sing in front of family and friends with a pretty voice, and I just love singing. I just love singing. And then my grandfather, he was a musician himself, and so every summer I used to go to Puerto Rico since I was born, and we would write songs together, and that's where my love for songwriting came from, my grandfather.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Okay, so when you obviously, you said you lived in LA most of your life, but was that always your passion to say, right, I want to go to LA, to go for that career path, or did you kind of like, was that one of your plans, and then did you think, oh, maybe do I have a plan B just in case it doesn't work out? Because as we all know, LA can be a bit of a rocky journey.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a rocky journey, and it's definitely not a straight line when it comes to being a creative overall. I do photography and I work in fashion as well, so I get that. Like you're not gonna it's not gonna happen all at once. But I've always known I wanted to do music no matter what, and because I was so passionate about it, and I love it, so I just continue doing it. And it's like I just told you, it's like that saying goes, overnight success, 20 years in the making. So it's just putting your time and energy into something you love, and hopefully people resonate with it.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay. Well, as I said, it's very honoured that you've come on the show. And also, I've watched you grow over the past many years. Because like I said, we've been social media friends for about 6-7 years. But funny enough, guys, this is actually the first time that me and Raina have actually spoken online, like properly. So it's very surreal at the moment that I'm actually getting to talk to her online, but it's good because now we're finally connected on here and we're finally talking. So Raina, as you know, you are on Manigan's Movie Music. So this is a very film-heavy radio show. It's very different from other shows. And as you said, you are a massive film buff. So are you ready to enjoy about an hour and a half of movie talk, movie scores, and movie chat with me?
Of course. I love movies, love films, love movie scores. I dated a film composer, so I knew a few things about film composing.
Amazing. Okay, well then that's even better, because obviously the stuff I'll play, you'll probably even know who the composers are and maybe know a bit of history about it, so that's even better. Okay, so let's dive right into this question. Do you have a particular favourite film genre or a favourite film in general?
My top two favorite films is Breakfast at Tiffany's, which Henry Mancini did the music score for, and I love. Moon River is one of my favorite songs of all time. And then my number two is Rocky. I'm a big fan of Rocky because I love a comeback story. I love a comeback story, so or underdog story, so to speak. So yes, those are my top two.
And favourite film genre in general, like romance, comedy, horror?
Oof, that's tough. I love all films, but if I had to pick favorite, I love horror films.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's always the answer I'm looking for. Yes, and do you know what? I've been so lucky because last week I had a rapper who came on and he was a fan of horror films as well. So this is just gold. This is why I get my guests on the show, because I have a feeling that they're going to love horror or something. So you just know the show is going to get even better. There you go, guys. There you go. So there we go. Right, okay. So we are definitely going to chat horror very soon now, because we can go on about this forever. So let's jump onto another track so we can prepare for that. So the next track here, guys, this is from Ice Age 5 Collision Course, Cosmic Scrat. That was, of course, the Batman, Highway to the Anger Zone. That was the scene where Batman gives chase to Penguin in the really awesome highway scene. If you haven't seen it, love that scene, and I do love that movie. You're listening to Manigan's Movie Music live on Love the Beat Radio with me, Reese Manigan, and my special guest today,
Raina Mora.
Hey, I like to get their guests to shout their names out, and see how cool they say it. Do you know, the other week I had a guest on here called Savannah, and she was trying to put on like a really like Savannah, like trying to put on different voices. It was really funny. I like to see how people try and shout out their names. Anyway, so just to let you know, guys, Raina is actually with me all the way from LA today. She's been a great sport. She stayed up to actually listen to be on the show this morning. So there you go. It's incredible. So Raina, I hope you're not feeling too tired over there.
No, I'm not tired at all. I'm excited to be here.
Amazing. That's good to know. Right. Okay, so I've just found out that Raina, if you just tuned in, is a horror fan. So as we all know, for people who know me, they know I'm a massive horror fan. I could go on for ages about horror, and we could talk about many different types of horror. But let's see where this conversation goes for how long we talk about it. So, Raina, do you have any particular favourite horror movies, a top 3, or one that stands out to you right now?
I have so many top horror films that I love. I love The Exorcist is one of my favorites.
Good one.
I've been Reagan for Halloween, and I've done the whole makeup. It's great. I also love Devil's Backbone by Guillermo del Toro, which is a Spanish one.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a big fan of his ghost stories. Man, it's so tough because I love so many. I'll say those are my top 2.
So, The Exorcist and sorry, what was the second one? The
Devil's Backbone.
Devil's Backbone, that's the one, yeah. Okay, really good, interesting choices. For me, my number 1 favourite horror movie and number 1 favourite movie all time is The Shining.
Great choice.
Because not only is that movie so incredibly made, but obviously there's things about it that people try to analyse, try to work out. It really gets you thinking. It really messes with your head. And that's what I love about it. It's a film that just does not stop giving.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's one of the greatest movies of all time, for sure.
Exactly. And, of course, directed, by the legend himself, Stanley Kubrick, who, of course, is one of my favourite film directors of all time. But have you happened to... What do you think of, the horror genre today, modern horror? Because, in my opinion, I think modern horror has definitely taken the horror genre to a different level in terms of psychologically crazy, dark, superior stuff that takes the risk. I'm not talking about the cheesy slasher stuff that happens now and again. I'm talking about films like Get Out, Hereditary, Midsummer, just basically stuff like that. So Jordan Peele, Mike Flanagan, and Ari Aster. Those are the top 3 horror directors of today, definitely. But is there any films that have stood out over those years recently that you've gone, oh my God, that's the one that stands out in today's generation?
I definitely love Jordan Peele. Anything Jordan Peele does is amazing to me. Big fan of Get Out. I'm also a huge fan of Midsummer. I love that film. I thought it was an incredible film. The way it dealt with grief and loss, and just it was deeper. It was deeper than what it was on the surface, which I appreciated about it. And I'm a huge fan also of even The Conjuring. I like the first one especially. Yeah. I think it was so well done, and honestly, one of I think The Conjuring was the start of good horror films coming back.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. I mean, The Conjuring was really good. And I mean, I love the first 2. The third one wasn't the best, but I can't wait for the 4th one. It is coming out. So hopefully it improves. But films to be honest, I think when you said about Jordan Peele, he definitely took it to a different level. Because Get Out was very realistic, That's what makes it terrifying. I like films that make it more realistic, and not because of the fact that it's about a guy who gets trapped by a bunch of people. It's because of how the main character felt. And I was saying this to other people because he felt different because he was black and they were white, and it's always awkward and stuff like that. But for me, it was about just being different in general because of me being autistic, and I've always had encounters where I've met all different types of people in events or family gatherings, or just, if a friend has a party and stuff like that. And I always feel like the outsider of everything, because it's they all have a lot in common. And I'm like this outsider who's on the side. I don't really like that music. I don't really like those films. I don't really listen to rock concerts and go to that sort of thing. And so I just feel so on the side, you know what I mean? And it's so awkward. So that's what it felt. And that is true horror for me, where everywhere I go, it's I don't really fit in. And that's kind of the scary part. It's about, do I really fit into this world? Do I really fit in anywhere I go? Or am I seriously the odd one out in everything? But luckily, I've managed to adapt so well that I've just kind of gone, yeah, this is me. I've got used to it. But it's still a bit of a horror to me, because it's when people say to me, oh, we want to invite you to go out for drinks and we want to invite you to go here, I'm like, yeah, but if I go, is there going to be people there that I'm actually going to get on with, or no? Or am I just going to be the odd one out?
Yeah, I mean, social gatherings could always be awkward, no matter who you are. It's just finding your tribe and people that you vibe with, which is hard to find these days. But if you have things in common, there's always something to talk about, which we have tons in common. We love movies, and we love horror movies, which is like it's a rare thing. I've met a lot of people who don't love horror films, and I'm just like, why?
Well,
I love horror films.
Yeah, same. But it's like basically as well. It's like not just that, but like I remember once when I was younger, I went to my older brother when he was with his ex. This was years ago. This was about 15 years ago. He had a gathering because he was he just moved house with her, and she had her friends come over and he had his friends over. Now the difference was I was the youngest one there. Secondly, everyone would like to have a drink and I don't drink really. So that was another different thing. But the only time I sort of managed to adapt was because there was a friend of his girlfriend who actually sort of flirted with me when I was there. And I thought, oh, okay, I can get on with her because she wants to talk to me. And that was the only time I thought, okay. And so it was, but the first hour, I felt so left out because they were all drinking. They were all talking about football, and I'm not a fan of football. And they were all like saying, oh, yeah, we went out to this club last night. And I'm just sitting there like, I don't know any of this. I don't know what's going on. And it wasn't until the second hour when the girl's friend come over, she started talking. I was like, oh, okay, there you go. It's a bit better now, you know. It was really funny. It was really funny. But at the same time, I was like, I don't belong here. Why am I here? This isn't right. You know what I mean? It was really, it's in that, you know. But luckily, I have managed to get a bit better with that. But at the same time, I always say to people now, if they invite me to things, it's nice to be invited, yeah. But then I think, yeah, but if I go there, am I going to be wasting my time or am I going to be having fun? You know, because sometimes with me, like, because I get so awkward, maybe I'll try and have a conversation about something, and sometimes no one will know what I'm on about, and then it goes awkward, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. So yeah, so that's what I get out. I could kind of relate to, because it was like, can I relate? Can I not relate? But I definitely did. But in terms of other horror films you mentioned, Hereditary stands out for me as well. That is a really strong horror. And I will say this, when I was at the cinema to go see that movie, that particular scene, I don't want to spoil it for listeners who haven't seen it, but do you remember what that particular scene when the brother drives at night and then there's an incident? Yeah. Okay. So when that moment happened, it was the first time ever the cinema went silent when it happened. And for the last maybe 20 minutes after that scene, when it all built up, everybody was just in silence. It was so crazy of that reaction with that particular scene. And honestly, I'd never seen anything like it. And when the film had finished, I remember people stood up and no one said a word. They just stood up, walked out in quiet, in silence. And when we came out of the cinema, there was people going, oh my God, what was that? Oh my God, why? Oh my God. Like, seriously, it was absolutely crazy with the reaction. And there was another one which really had a reaction when I went to go and see. Have you seen *Malignant*?
No, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay, I won't spoil it for you. But when a certain scene is revealed, everyone in the cinema, this is no word of a lie, went, oh my God, what the hell is that? Like, seriously. And then when the film had ended, people were still sitting on their chairs. Oh my God, what was that? Oh my God, did you see that? Blah, blah, blah. And someone ran out of the cinema on his phone. And we went out of the cinema and he's on his phone going, mate, you won't believe what I've just watched. You won't believe what they... Yeah. Oh my God. Seriously, the reaction was just absolutely hilarious. It was so funny.
I feel like that came and went. Wasn't it during the pandemic?
No, that came out after just around the pandemic was ending.
Yeah, and that's why I never got to it. But I did want to see it, and it is on like HBO or something.
Yeah.
But I just the last movie that I felt like had that reaction in theaters was Sinners for me.
Oh yeah, do you know what, that movie? I've mentioned it just for a couple of weeks now. that movie absolutely blew my mind. I went to the BFI IMAX to see that movie. It was, and do you know what? I had to convince my wife to come and see it with me because she wasn't too sure at first. But I said, no, you are coming to see this movie with me because I need to experience this film with someone. And none of my friends were available, and none of who I wanted. So I was like, so I literally said, I'll pay for it, and we'll go, and we went. And in the end, we both just loved it. And I said, this is exactly why people need to come to the cinema to experience this movie.
I saw it twice in theaters. I'm a huge Ryan Coogler fan ever since Fruitvale Station. I did not expect this genre of movie from him, but it's a mix of horror, action,
music.
It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music for it is insanely amazing. I like if you haven't seen it, stay till the end credits so that you can see both end credits.
We sat down from the very beginning to the very end. Honestly, it's a gorgeous film, and honestly, I loved it. And the acting was amazing from everybody. Especially, I tell you, who stole the show for me, even though he's not in it as much, but I think he stole the show, was Jack O'Connell. Who plays the sort of main villain, the lead, you know. I don't want to spoil it, but you know, the lead if you know. But he just stole the show for me. Like, I mean, even though, even though Michael B. Jordan was amazing, and so was Hadley Steinfeld and everybody, they were all amazing. But honestly, Jack O'Connell, he has blossomed from an actor because I've watched his career since Eden Lake. And he started off as that troublesome, evil little so-so to being this really mature, very powerful actor. I mean, I loved him in Eden Lake and Harry Brown. And, you know, he plays some really dark characters in those films. But what really took me off him as an actor was, have you ever seen the movie Money Monster?
No, I have not seen that one.
That's with George Clooney, and he's in that as well. And honestly, when I watched him in that film, it showed he improved as an actor, that he wasn't just playing this British thug as he's always cast. He actually put on an American accent more than he did for Sinners. And oh my God, his performance in Money Monster is amazing. And I said he has blossomed from being this tiny little, you know, thug in Eden Lake and Harry Brown to being this really phenomenal actor in Money Monster. He was also in a film called Little Fish with Olivia Cooke, which is very underrated, by the way, which is a COVID film, and I watched it during COVID, so very relatable movie. Honestly, he has done so well. And when I watched him in Sinners, I even know that I said he's not in it much, and I know it's more meant to be more about Michael B. Jordan, but I just went, nah, he stole the show for me. He stole the show. Plus, you know, his Irish singing and dancing in that scene as well. Like, you know, I mean, you just can't not take your eyes off him. He's just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, he is, and even the what they sang was amazing, and honestly, just go for the music. The music alone will captivate you. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, one of my favorite moments in the film as well, it probably is one of yours as well, but it's the part where the guitar, is it the banjo boy, the guitar boy singing the song, and then you got the past and the present all together in that one shot. Oh my God, that was absolutely phenomenal.
It was beautiful. It was a meld of music, and that's why I said, like, this feels like a love letter not only to horror and vampire films, but a love letter to music.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But I tell you what, this movie definitely reminded me of, and I'm sure you've probably seen as well. And this came out as well during COVID. We're very COVID heavy today, but this also came out during COVID. Have you ever watched Midnight Mass on Netflix?
No, I'm like, I need to like put these on my list right now.
You didn't see Midnight Mass during COVID, like what the Mike Flanagan series? Right, you need to watch Midnight Mass, because when you watch Midnight Mass, it will definitely remind you of Sinners. But I think Sinners might have taken some things from Midnight Mass to put in this film. I'm not saying that there was any stealing or copyright or anything like that. Obviously, Ryan Coogler did his own thing, but Mike Flanagan definitely did something else with Midnight Mass. So Okay, I'm going to leave it there then because I don't want to spoil about that. But anyway, yeah, guys, if you have not watched Midnight Mass on Netflix, where the hell was you during COVID? Watch it. It is an absolute phenomenal series. It's a horror drama. Great acting from Hamish, who plays the vicar. He steals the show. And oh my God, yeah, you have to watch Midnight Mass because if you love Sinners, there's no doubt that you will love Midnight Mass. Yeah, totally different stories, but there's definitely something familiar that I'm going to throw in that definitely have a lot in common with these two films. That's all I'm going to say. Right. We're going to take a break from there. We're going to relax and take a breather for now. So we're going to play a nice little ditty here from Rockadoodle. We'll be back after this. That was, of course, by the amazing Danny Elfman. Edward Scissorhands Ice Dance. And you're listening to Manigan's Movie Music with me, Reese Manigan, and my special guest today,
Raina Mora.
Okay, so Raina is live from LA today. She's on the show, and we've been talking a lot about different types of movies, and it turns out that you're a horror fan, which is even better. We've just been talking about horror fans, but I still cannot believe you haven't watched Midnight Mass on Netflix.
No, but I've seen House of Usher. I've seen everything else.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll forgive you for that, but still, when you watch Midnight Mass, I'll forgive you even more. Anyway, no, it's fine. Anyway, but honestly, because we were talking about Sinners, and I was saying that, in case you just tuned in, that basically we was talking about Sinners and the fact that Sinners does actually sort of relate to Midnight Mass, although Midnight Mass came out 4 years before Sinners did. There's definitely a link why those films are quite similar. But if you want to know why, watch Midnight Mass and then watch Sinners, or watch Sinners then watch Midnight Mass. But yeah. So guys, we've only got 3 minutes until the ad break is coming up. So coming up, I will be talking about some movie news coming up as well. Also, some updates about the projects that I've been working on and some stuff that's coming up, because there's a new short film that I'll be filming later this month that I'll be talking about very soon. So I want to bring that up later on in the show. So, Raina, before we get into the ad break, you enjoying being on the show so far?
I've been having a blast. Thank you for having me.
Oh, brilliant. No, absolutely. Well, it's good to know that every guest is having a blast on the show. That's what I always like to hear. Positive feedback. And don't forget, guys, speaking of feedback, if you want to give me some feedback, feel free to go on Google and go on the reviews of Love the Beat Radio. That's Love DA Beat Radio. And go on reviews and feel free to give us a review on my show, Manigan's Movie Music, and let me know what you think of the show, what you think of the music, what you think of the guests, what you think about my presenting. And be honest, if I'm rubbish, feel free to tell me. I don't care. At the end of the day, it'll give me some requires to improve or not improve. I mean, it's fine. Just don't go too harsh. Yeah, no swearing and oh blah. Because there's a difference between criticism and being a complete so-so. Yeah, there's a complete difference. Anyway, but yes, there is. Yeah, speaking of that, I mean, Raina, do you have like a page that we can review your songs or tracks or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm streaming on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. I'm under, my social media is at Raina Mora Music on all platforms. And I have a YouTube channel. It's at Raina Mora Music as well. And you can see all my music videos there too.
Amazing. Yes, so there you go, guys. So please subscribe and follow Raina Music, because she deserves it, guys. She deserves all the follows and deserves everything. She is an incredible singer. I've heard her stuff, and I'm not lying to you. It is beautiful, beautiful stuff. Right, okay, we're now going to jump into the ad break, guys. We'll be back very soon to talk about more films and more movie news, and I've got to tell you about the short film that's coming up very soon. And you're listening to Manigan's Movie Music live on Love the Beat Radio. I just love a feel-good track that really lines you up. That one always does. Monsters Inc., the full theme on Manigan's Movie Music live on Love the Beat Radio. With me, Reese Manigan, and my special guest today,
Raina Mora.
Yes, Raina is live with me today, all the way from LA today. She's like my third American guest I've had on the show from America. And unlike the other people who were too lazy to stay up, she's actually decided to stay up on my show to talk to me. So again, Raina, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Amazing. Right. So I'm just going to place you down there just for 1 second because I just need to jump onto the movie news that everybody likes to listen to. So let's just jump onto there 1 moment. So, guys, unfortunately, yes, I don't have a movie review today. I do apologise. But unfortunately, there hasn't been many. This is what I said last week. There hasn't been many films out that I've wanted to go and see this month. But compared to last year, the movies have been so not like, oh my God, I need to go and check these out. Like, I'm very disappointed with 2025 a little bit, especially May, because there's just been nothing. But this month, there is a couple of films I will be seeing, so fingers crossed that they will definitely be an improvement. Okay, right, so let's jump down to what's been going on this week movie-wise. Right, so... oh God, there's so much this week. Right, let's start from the very beginning. Okay, so number 1, the new Guillermo del Toro's movie of Frankenstein trailer has finally been released, although there's been a little bit of a problem. This movie, unfortunately, is going straight to Netflix, which I'm a little bit disappointed with because, okay, I know Del Toro released Pinocchio on Netflix. By the way, amazing movie if you haven't watched it. But Frankenstein was a film that I was actually hoping to go and check out in the theatre. And it's got some really big actors in this one. It's got Mia Goth, it's got Oscar Isaac, it's got William Dafoe. But unfortunately, the movie is going straight to Netflix. So although I'm excited to watch it, it's going straight to Netflix. So yeah, I just hope that if they do release it, there's limited cinema releases or something, because I would love to check out this movie on the big screen, because this honestly looks like a big screen film. So all I can say is, Netflix, if you're going to be generous for us to check out this movie, let it have a little bit of a cinema release. Come on, be generous and let it come out in the cinemas. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts on that, guys. But the trailer, wow, it does look really good. Definitely check it out. Okay, other big movie news this week. The new movie Bring Her Back, which I am so excited to see this year, one of my anticipated films. The directors have talked to me and said they've made Sally Hawkins terrifying. Now, by the way, I've avoided loads of information about this movie Bring Her Back. I have not read any spoilers. I have not read the plot. I have only watched one teaser trailer. And all I can say is Sally Hawkins playing terrifying is more than enough to be anticipated to go see this movie. I am buzzed to go and check out Bring Her Back. I don't have any idea what this film is even about. It would talk to me. I didn't even know what that movie was about. But the directors are back with a brand new film called Bring Her Back. I really do want to check out this film when it comes out in August in the UK. But I am avoiding all spoilers. I'm avoiding all news. But there is one thing that I have checked out, which I think you guys need to listen as well before you guys do go and see this film. Apparently, the one thing they've said, because it's a trigger warning, is there is quite a bit of child abuse in this movie. They haven't said what or how, but apparently this film does not hold back. So if you're very sensitive and you're a parent that doesn't want to see stuff like that on screen, maybe don't go and check out this film. I, for one, will still go check it out, but I'm kind of braving myself because when it comes to stuff like that, I mean, yeah, I don't like seeing it. And there's one movie in particular that really put me off kind of stuff like that, which was Martyrs. That movie, I can never watch Martyrs ever again. Never. Seriously. So for that, I will definitely go and check out Bring Her Back. But that's the question of, is it a film will I watch ever again? Or is it a film that I'll check out once and think, yeah, maybe leave it there? But that's to see. But that's your warning, guys. If you're not into that sort of thing and you're very sensitive, definitely maybe don't go check it out. But that's the one thing I did check out about this movie. Trigger warning. It has those particular scenes in that film. But like I said, I don't know what in the film, but that's your warning. Anyway, you have been warned. Okay, next. Oh, more exciting stuff though, horror-wise. Black Phone 2 trailer was released, and the grabber is back from beyond the grave. Yes, Scott Derrickson is back, directing a sequel to Black Phone. But now you're probably thinking, oh, Why is there a sequel? The killer died in the last one, spoiler alert. I mean, obviously, because you've seen the trailer for the 2, it's not really a spoiler. But yes, the killer is back. But what I love what they've done with this one is they've definitely turned him into Freddy Krueger. I mean, come on. It's a bit of a coincidence. You look at the teaser, the black phone is ringing. He's in the phone. He's haunting the young boy. He's definitely turned into a Freddy Krueger kind of character. So I think what they're doing with this is they've turned this into a sort of Nightmare on Elm Street kind of vibe, kind of sequel. If that's the case, I'm all down. And Scott Derrickson, he's a good director. He did Sinister. He just recently did The Gorge, which, by the way, I saw early this year. Brilliant movie. If you haven't got Apple TV, definitely get Apple TV to watch that movie. Really good film. So I am all down. So I'm glad Scott Derrickson is back to direct it. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do to take this concept. And okay, is it going to be as good as the first film? Probably not. But at least it's different and it's interesting and it's unique to see what they're going to do with this concept of the black phone and change it to something different. So I'm all in. And the teaser trailer, it won me over. So I'm more than happy to go and check it out. Plus, this might be another Jason Blum movie that might improve because, okay, we all know what I think about Jason Blum. Yeah, okay, as a producer, he was brilliant back in the day. But since the movie Megan came out, he's kind of gone a bit downhill because I'm not going to go and check out Megan 2. Because, for one thing, the reason, as I've said before, he's turned his horror films into... Well, he's turned them more into family movies now. It's, the market was that he was a horror producer. And now it's like he's going, horror and violence is for everybody because it's all about making the money. That's why he toned down Megan. That's why he toned down Five Nights at Freddy's. But by and by, Five Nights at Freddy's wasn't too bad. I'll give him that. But Night Swim? What the hell was that? What the hell was Night Swim? That was terrible. Oh my God, I'm not going to get into that again. But what the hell was Night Swim? Seriously. Oh my God, just no. So yeah, he's definitely gone downhill in terms of taming his horror films so he can get a bigger audience to make the money. However, this year, I will say he's improved a bit. The Wolfman, okay, not the best, but compared to Megan and Night Swim, better movie. And Drop. That was a lot better. Drop, I actually enjoyed. It was thrilling. It was exciting. Great acting. It was dark. It was fun. So, yeah, Drop definitely was up there. So, with Black Phone 2, is he going to go down the dark route? Yes, he will. Luckily, from the trailer, it didn't look like they were taming it down. So, let's hope that it sticks to its roots. It sticks to being a dark horror movie. And it sticks to having that particular audience. Because... I will say this, if I go and see Black Phone 2 and at last minute they've done some changes to tame it for a bigger audience, then all I can say is, Jason Blum, you have lost my respect. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, let's see what they think. But if you guys have thoughts about, the film, let me know. Okay. What's next? Weapons, another horror movie news. Now, this one I know is not going to hold back. Weapons, from the director of Barbarian, which, by the way, was a great movie. Apparently, Weapons director has said the story is really up. The story is really up. Yeah, I'm sure you know what the stands for. But yes, apparently, Weapons is going to have a really, really dark storyline. And it's apparently even darker and more messed up than Barbarian. And by, Barbarian was really dark. So, whatever he's got planned for Weapons, I am hyped. So, another film as well that I've avoided. No information. I don't even know what the film's about. I've only watched one trailer. So, I am buzzed for that. Okay. There is more movie news coming up. Hang on a second. Just going through. Oh, okay. No, sorry. Don't need to know about that. Just going through this list right now, guys. Nope. Okay. More Jason Blum news. So, if you guys remember the movie Ma from 2019, if you're a fan of that movie, you'll be happy to know that there's going to be a sequel. To Ma. Yes, a sequel to Ma. Ma 2. And guess who's back? Octavia Spencer. She's coming back to play Ma. Now, we don't know what Ma 2 is going to bring. Now, what are my thoughts on Ma? Okay, right, 2019. It was a great year for movies. Let's say that. But before COVID, 2019 was a great year for films and horror films. Like we had Doctor Sleep, we had Joker, we had Shaun the Sheep Farmageddon. We had a lot of great movies in 2019. 2019 was a great year for film. Now, Ma was not my particular favourite that year. Now, reason being, right, don't get me right, I'll talk about the positives before I get into the negatives. So, first of all, Octavia Spencer, she was amazing. She was funny, she was dark, she was brilliant. She made that movie. She was absolutely incredible. Nothing wrong with Octavia Spencer. She's a fantastic actress. I absolutely love her. I actually hope to work with her one day. Not a problem at all. But the problem with Ma, there was a lot. Number one, the teenagers. Who the hell were they? Like, the characters were so bland in that movie. It was absolutely ridiculous. Like, oh my goodness, the teenagers. They were so annoying. Do you know what? I'm actually going to come out and say it. I was actually rooting for Ma to kill those teenagers in that film. I'm sorry, but those teenagers were really, really bad. They were dumb. They were bland. They were not invested. And I actually said, I hope Ma gets them. When she didn't get them, I was so disappointed. I was like, oh, come on. Like, come on. Can't the killer one day win just for one day? You know, just let Ma win. Anyway, that's my opinion. The characters were really bland. The writing was a bit off. And to be honest, the story kind of, it went into a very weird direction. Because first it was about a woman being obsessed with these teenagers. And you kind of understand why as it goes on. But I felt like the film really started to deflate in the last hour. Because first you got this story about an obsession about a woman who's obsessed with these teenagers. And then all of a sudden, she then starts to become more obsessed with the adults. And then you kind of get the backstory, and then you kind of get, oh, this is what, and it just completely flips. And then you're just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, and to be honest, I'm not going to lie. I actually found Ma a little bit more boring than I thought it was going to be. Because I was actually looking forward to seeing this movie. Because I love horror movies about stalkers and obsessive characters. I love those sort of horror films. And I thought, oh, Octavia Spencer playing an obsessed woman. This is going to be like Misery or something like that. But unfortunately, it didn't go down that route. And I was just like, So all I can say is, Ma 2, look, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But I'm just going to wait and see what happens. I mean, to be honest, I don't think Ma 2 will even go straight to cinemas because the first Ma felt more like a Netflix movie. Now, that was a Netflix film, I would say. But for Ma 2, yeah, let's see what happens. But I'm happy Octavia Spencer's coming back. Like, that's brilliant. Like, I'm glad she's coming back to play Ma. But I don't know where they're going to go with it. So let's just wait and see, okay? But, yeah, let's just see what the updates are. And finally, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Another Jason Blum. Right, this is the final Jason Blum news and the final bit of movie news. I'm so sorry. This is the last one, but this is actually quite exciting. Right, so as we know, the last movie of Saw got cancelled and was meant to come out this September. Now they finally cancelled it. However, there is some hope for the franchise because it says here that Jason Blum and James Wan, who actually created the Saw franchise, James Wan, not Jason Blum, James Wan, who created, apparently they're trying to get the rights of Saw to be in the Blumhouse franchise. Now, there's two things that I'm going to say. So the good points are, if James Wan gets back his Saw franchise, he could actually come back and bring another sort of Saw breath for fresh air to it. Like, he could reboot it or do something different with it or really bring it back to its roots, or, you know, because he's the guy who made Saw, so he could now come back and make a really exciting Saw movie. That's exciting. But number two, because Jason Blum's producing it, there's some doubts, as I keep saying. But look, Jason Blum, you can't tone down a Saw film. Okay, Saw is meant to be what it is: gory, violent, scary, insane, and yeah, a little bit in a way cheesy. But Jason Blum, do not ruin the Saw franchise if you take over. Do not tame it for a wider audience. And for goodness sake, please let it be rated 18 and not rated 12 or rated 15. It has to be what it is. Because what makes the Saw franchise is how dark it is. Now, I'm not going to lie. The last Saw 10 that came out in 2023, I absolutely loved it. It was my actual favourite Saw film, maybe since the second one. Because I love Saw 10, I love Saw 2, and I love the first Saw. The other Saws, yeah, they're watchable and they have their moments, but it's like with Final Destination. I like Final Destination 6, 5, and 1, and 3. But the other Final Destinations, yeah, they're all right. They have their moments. So that's how I think about it. But anyway, so those are my thoughts on the ideas of Jason Blum taking over the rights for the Saw franchise. But let's see. Raina, you've been sitting there listening to my thoughts on that. Any comments and thoughts on anything I've just mentioned?
I'm super excited for the Guillermo del Toro film. I'm a huge Guillermo del Toro fan. I am really sad to find out that that's not going to be going to theaters either, especially with that incredible cast. That's pretty sad. I'm also excited for Black Phone 2 because I loved the first one and it was incredible. So yeah, those are my two that I'm most excited for of the news that you just gave.
And any thoughts on Ma 2 or like Jason Blum doing what it like? I mean, what do you think about Jason? I mean, because you're a horror fan, so you need to have some updates on this. Do you think, and you don't have to agree with me, but do you think since Megan that he has definitely deflated with his films?
He's hit or miss for me. He has certain films that are good, certain films that are bad. I don't think he's the greatest, to be honest, but I did not hate Megan. So I will actually see Megan 2, and I didn't like because it gives you that Chucky feel, and if you like Chucky, the doll, that's like they're in on the joke, you know what I mean? So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I understand, but the thing is, this is just my opinion on it. I just think that, like, because to me, he did do some great films. Like, he's got a list. And before, I was like, any Jason Blum film, I was in. I was like, because I was actually watching Jason Blum films since 2011. The first one I ever watched was Oculus, which, by the way, was Mike Flanagan. And so that's what got me into Jason Blum. And since then, he has produced some really good films from then on. But the reason I say Megan, in my opinion, isn't the best, this is just what I think, is because it could have been a lot darker than it should have been. And they kind of did lie a little bit of, oh, when you watch Megan, it's going to be the most suspenseful film you've seen. And it's going to bring back that sort of, as you said, Chucky vibes, whatever. And I'm not saying Megan was, all of it was awful. But compared to trying to market it as a horror film and then market it as this science fiction where AI goes wrong, what I'm saying is they could have kept some violent scenes in it to make it, because it just, the tamed version just felt like she was being a bit naughty. But I've seen the director's cut of the violent scenes in it, and I said that's what they should have left in, because it was more showing that she had that darker side. Because when you show the tamed version, it just felt like she was being a naughty kid than a naughty robot. Do you know what I mean? It was like, oh, she's been a bad girl. She's done some naughty things. She's hurt that boy and blah, blah. But when you watch the violent version, it goes full out. And you're like, now she's more scarier. So what I'm saying is I would like to have been a bit more terrified of the scene it. But the director's cut made me do that. But the tame version didn't. The tame version just kind of go, oh, she's done something bad. But what does she do? Oh, she done that. I would like to have seen what she done. Do you know what I mean? So to me, sometimes, yeah. So to me, I kind of would work, because I was thinking, oh, it's going to get there. It's going to get there. Then it was like, oh, what did she do? Oh, she done that. Oh, but I would have liked to have seen a bit of that. Oh, okay. They just decided. But then when I watched the director's cut and I saw it, I was like, that's what I wanted to see. A bit more darkness and to show what she's doing. Not just, oh, what did you think she done? Oh, she done that. Yeah, she did do that. Fair enough. And we don't have to see everything. But I just felt like she was more like a misfit kid than a robot that gone rogue. Does that make sense?
No, that totally makes sense. And now you got me wanting to see the director's cut for sure. I have not seen it. But yeah, no, I saw it once, and it's been a minute since I've seen it. So honestly, like I thought I didn't think it was the best film, but I also enjoyed it. Like it was just a fun watch. But
Yeah.
I think like there's way worse Blumhouse.
Oh
movies,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. And I just mentioned that Night Swim. Like, oh
Night Swim.
my
Oof,
God,
you watch it.
Night Swim is absolutely a waste of your time. I mean, honestly, like, I saw that movie and I came out really angry. But I tell you why I was also angry about it was because, this is no word of a lie, they took so much from Oculus in that film. So I'm going to give you some. Examples. And I'm not. I don't care if I spoil it for you because the film's not worth watching anyway. So, for example, instead of a dog going missing, it's the cat. Instead of a mirror, it's a swimming pool. The children know the swimming pool is dangerous, apart from the dad. Same with the mirror. And the swimming pool uses the dad to try and kill the family, like the mirror in Oculus tried to use the dad to kill his family.
It just sounds kind of like what is it, Amityville Horror?
But the difference is Oculus knew what to do. Oculus was clever. Oculus was, they knew how to execute that story and to make it into a horror. But the Night Swim, I just felt like they were just taking stuff from Oculus, and they just went, we're going to use that. We're going to try and use this and use that and see if we. And I just remember watching it going, they're taking this from Oculus. This is an Oculus movie, but with a swimming pool instead of a mirror. I mean, come on. Like, honestly, if you were able to have a night where you watch Oculus and then watch Night Swim, which, by the way, don't, but if you wanted to compare the two, honestly, the similarities are way too much of a coincidence.
I'll trust your opinion on it. I have no I have no need to want to watch Night Swim. It looked terrible just by the trailer alone, honestly.
Well, I'm glad you got some sense to know not to watch it then, but there you go. But like I said, I'm not saying Jason Blum's a terrible producer. He does what he does. He has done some good things, but I will say this year he has improved, because I saw Wolfman. All right, again, not a great movie, but I preferred it more than Megan and Night Swim, 100%. And Drop was actually his greatest film he's done in a long time. Like, Drop is suspenseful, it's dark, it gets you on edge, keeps you guessing. I really enjoyed it. So I recommend, if you want another new Jason Blum movie to watch, definitely check out Drop.
Okay, I will definitely check it out. I have AMC stuff, so I'll definitely have to.
Amazing. Yeah, make that your movie night and check it out, definitely. All right, guys, I think I've talked long enough and ranted long enough about these movie news. So we're going to take a breather, a little bit of a break, and we're going to play another track, but we're going to come back after this. So please stay tuned, guys, for more stuff. This is Manigan's Movie Music live on Love the Beat Radio. That was, of course, from the legend himself, James Horner, from We're Back, a dinosaur story called Grand Demon Parade. That was a childhood film of mine, We're Back, a dinosaur story. No one actually even knows that movie even exists, but I'm so glad that I found it, because it's one of my childhood movies. But people sometimes mistaken it for Land Before Time because Steven Spielberg produced both films, but it's actually got nothing to do with Land Before Time, just that Steven Spielberg worked on both films. But I'm not going to get into that. It's a different kind of story. Anyway, you're listening to Manigan's Movie Music live on Love the Beat Radio with me, Reese Manigan, and my special guest from LA,
Raina Mora.
Yes, if you just tuned in, she's live with me from LA. We've been talking a lot about horror. We've been talking a lot about COVID, which I don't know why that's become such a heavy subject lately. I don't know why that even keeps coming into the conversation. But yes, but we've been talking about horror. We've been talking about COVID. We've been talking about like Jason Blum, and we think that he might be a bit hit and miss as a producer and stuff like that. So we've had loads to talk about, and I'm really glad, because unfortunately we've only got 20 minutes of the show left already. I hate it. I hate when it's so close to the end. Anyway, right, just going to keep this short and sweet because I want to play my last track of the day. So for those who follow my work, for those who follow what I do, I have got another short film that I am filming later this month on the 21st of June called False Fortune. And that is part of my 20th anniversary of filmmaking. I'm just kind of making these short films as they go along as much as I can. And it's a very nice little short film about two people who try to con some people out of fortune telling. And basically, because something doesn't go right in one of the situations, so what happens is one of the characters decides, oh, let's do fortune telling. And we can con them and all that and get the money out of them. So it's called False Fortune, and it's going to be filmed on the 21st of June, and it will come out hopefully sometime in July, August time. It's one of my comedy shorts that I make at the moment. But by the way, if you haven't gone on my YouTube channel yet, please check out The Golden Fish, because that came out 5 days ago, I think. Yes, about 5 days ago. So definitely check it out. And it's a very funny little short film about a bunch of people who go off to try and find this golden fish and see if it exists. And that's literally the story, but with different characters who have different personalities. You've got one who wants to find the golden fish. You've got the woman who's seen the fish before, and she tells about the legend. You've got one who's played by me, who just wants to capture the fish because he wants to make money out of it. And you've got an Instagram influencer who just wants to take photos of it and stick it on her Instagram. So that's basically the plot. Yeah, so it's a very fun little short. It's only 10 minutes long. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go on my YouTube and check it out. And False Fortune, it's going to be that sort of similar vibe, silly comedy, fun story. So if you're into that and you want to see it, definitely check it out, guys. It's on my YouTube channel now. Resem92, please subscribe. And I can't tell you this, right? Thank you all so much to everyone who has subscribed my YouTube channel, because I've now reached over 1,000 subscribers, which is absolutely incredible. It's taken me over 10 years to get 1,000 subscribers. But then, to be fair, like I said, I don't go on YouTube all the time. It's not like what I do all the time. But if I do have a video out and I can get it out there, I will stick it out there as quickly and as insanely as possible. But you do need to stick with it, guys, because content does come. I don't do YouTube all the time, but it is out there. And when I do get a video out, it's out there. But it's like with this radio show, guys. If you haven't caught a radio show and you've missed out, go on my YouTube channel, go on my playlist, click on radio show, and you will see some of my shows that you've missed out. So definitely check out my shows on the radio show playlist, because I've been speaking to a lot of great guests, a lot of interesting guests. This show that I'm doing now, it will go on YouTube 100%. So if you've missed out on this one, definitely check it out. So yeah, it will be coming onto YouTube very soon in the future. So if you haven't heard it now, you will definitely hear it either sometime next week or sometime after. So definitely keep an eye out, guys. Right, I think it's time to play the final track of the day, because this has been a really fun show, really great show today. So what I'm choosing is something fun, something amazing, something beautiful and fun. So here, of course, is none other than a really beautiful track that everybody will know and love. Here's a little bit of Jurassic Park. That is always a great way to end the show, because, it's John Williams, and second of all, it's Jurassic Park, but that was the Lost World version, of course. The second one, in case you don't know how many Jurassic Parks are there, because yes, I know, as we mentioned before, there is going to be another Jurassic Park World, whatever you want to call it, Rebirth, which comes out in July. Definitely be reviewing that probably in the future. Anyway, you're listening to Manigan's Movie Music live on Love the Beat Radio with me, Reese Manigan, and my special guest from LA,
Brandon Mora.
Yes, live from LA, and I'm so happy you managed to stay up for these 2 hours so early in the morning to be on this show. So, Raina, I gotta say, I'm very honoured that you actually did this. It means you're a great sport. It means that you wanted to come and help me on the show and everything. So, anybody who wants to do that is a friend for life in my book. So, honestly, thank you so much for being here, taking the time on the show. How does it feel to be on a British radio show?
It feels super cool. Like, I'm really, really happy to be here and to talk about movies and film, because I love movies myself. And it was just a blast. So thank you so much for having me, Reese.
So is this actually your first ever radio show in Britain you've ever done?
That I've ever done interview-wise? Yes, it is.
There you go. Yes. I was going to say the first ever radio show you've been interviewed in Britain, because you're in a British radio show. So there you go. So, I mean, do you know what? It's so funny as well when you say that, because a lot of not just American guests, but even British guests I have in England who come on the show to the station and stuff, they even say this is their first ever radio show they've been on and all that. And I'm like, look, it's good to know that you got the experience of being on a radio show. It's very easy because most people are like, oh, I'm too scared to go on radio. I don't know what to say and all that. But honestly, you don't have to worry. You just got to sit down and talk. That's all it is. Yeah, people are listening, but it's just conversation. People like that. People like to listen to people have conversation, especially if it's about their interests. So, but for you, it's been great that you've been more excited and everything. But was there any nerves at all when you were thinking about this?
Honestly, I knew it was you, so I wasn't nervous at all. Because I knew we were going to have fun because we're friends. We've known each other for years. And I know what you're about. And I knew we were going to have a great conversation. And that's ultimately what it was all about.
Exactly. There you go. And, well, it's funny you should say that because, again, people who I know, who are friends, they were still nervous to come on the show. So it's good to know that at least one person was not scared to come on the radio show to do it. But it's cool. But you know what? It's fine. I mean, I can understand, they haven't done radio and the experience is a bit all over. But honestly, it's great. I love it. I love that. I've given them that experience and they've enjoyed it because honestly, the results after are like, oh, that wasn't too bad. I quite enjoyed that. I go, see, what was you scared of, But that's what I'm saying. Like, people shouldn't be so nervous to take on risks. I mean, God, when I first did my first radio show, I didn't know what the hell I was going to be doing. I mean, yeah, you think it's sitting down in front of a microphone talking. Yeah, the guests get to do that. But with me, I've got to press all the buttons, make sure the songs are okay, make sure everything's in order. I mean, it is a lot of work, and you're technically multitasking, but so the guests get it easy, really. They just need to get down here and be on the show.
Yeah, and just answer questions and have a conversation one-on-one. It's honestly just be yourself. At the end of the day, there's only one you, and that's all you can do.
Oh, trust me, I'm glad there's only one me. If there was more of me, I don't think the world would cope, seriously. But mind you, that wouldn't be such a bad idea to clone myself, to get revenge on all those people who wronged me. Now that would be fun. So there's an idea.
Maybe a good short idea.
Yeah, I'm going to put that on my list now. There you go. Right, so we've got less than 4 minutes now to the show, guys. So next week, I'm going to actually tell you this. I don't have a guest next week, because I actually have to rush off after the show to be somewhere. But the show will still be 10 to 12, but there'll be no guests, there'll be no interview, nothing like that. It's just me on my own next week. I'll be doing what I need to do, and then I've got to leave immediately at 12 o'clock to get somewhere. So next week's going to be a bit of a rush. But here's a funny situation. Next week is Friday the 13th, right? Now, funny enough, to those who've listened to my show for the very beginning, my show did start on Friday the 13th back in September. So in a way, you could say this is a sort of anniversary next week, because every Friday the 13th that comes up, it's, that's when my show began. There you go. So we'll try and figure something really interesting to do next week on the show. Maybe a little flashback thing or something. I don't know. I'll plan something. But yeah, it's going to be a sort of anniversary, interesting special next week. But no, guys, there's been no guest next week. But there will be a guest the week after, hopefully. I'm making sure the guests do come on the show every week or everything. Because lately, nearly every week, I do have special guests lined up. So I'm very excited about who will be coming on. I don't want to say who they are because they could turn me down. They might not be able to make it. So I don't want to jinx it. But after Friday the 13th, for the next few weeks, there should be a guest coming on my show. So quite interesting stuff. And when I say nearly every week, I say from the 20th of June to November. So that'll be very interesting. But like I said, let's see what happens. I don't want to jinx it because anything could happen between those months. So let's not jinx anything. Right, Raina, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. You've been amazing. I appreciate you staying up this late to be on the show. Thank you so much, and I hope to hear from you again very soon.
Thank you for having me, Reese. Happy lucky number 13, and I hope your show next week goes well. Congrats.
Thank you so much. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for everyone who's tuned in. Thank you so much to everybody who's listened to the show and enjoyed it. Please come back next week for more. And from me, Reese Manigan, that is a wrap.